Live back from the University of Maryland in College Park, Maryland, it is time for the grand finals here at the world premiere tournament of Core Disruption. Alongside Joey Courtside, King McDermott, my name is John Fiasco Byram, and it is time that we are heading in to the grand finals. It is the first seeded Morons Cubed going up against Savage Academy in the grand finals. $2,000 on the line. One team will go home $2,000 richer.
Yeah, absolutely. Quite a bit of money on the line here. Even the loser goes home with a little bit as well, but obviously they want to be the winner in the end. Two very strong teams. Morons Cubed yet to drop a game today. We'll see if they can keep that up against Savage Academy.
And we're already seeing a big strategy change here from Morons Cubed. If you remember, if you were with us from the start of the program today, they were the team that pretty much set the tone. Old Lasers, rush comp, it feels like, going straight into the other team and just absolutely demolishing them. And it worked up until this point. They have made that change. Joey, one tank with lasers, two tanks featuring other weapons.
Well, and they started doing that in the earlier rounds as well. They went all lasers, then they moved in and put one tank on full railgun, the other two on lasers. Now we see that rotation even a little bit more extremely with just one tank, all three spots on lasers, with the other 6 spots related to the railgun.
Both teams out onto the amphitheater. Moving around, they are destined to collide in just a few moments. Will that aggressive play from Morons Cubed continue, or will we see them try to lay back a little bit? Both teams finding each other pretty quick here. Not even full 30 seconds in, we already have shots fired coming out. Morons Cubed taking the early damage here, trying to lay it down, rotating around.
Derpy could be in a tough situation here, getting caught up a little bit. He's on the backside there of VIXLT.
And Vixel taking some damage as well. Now quickly rotating around. This one's a little fast-paced, and we've seen Derpy taking a lot of damage, down to 27 on the core. That front right panel fully exposed. Chai Master taking damage. He goes down first. Derpy still holding on at 27. It's a 2v3 in favor of Morons Cubed, but it could be easily evened up here. Down to 16 for Derpy. Morons Cubed doing everything they can to keep that advantage. Killer Skittles only has the left side of the tank damage. That full right side, massive advantage for Killer Skittles, but is already taking damage because of that left damage. Down to 40 on the core health. Down to 10. Killer Skittles, with not a lot of damage, gets his core absolutely destroyed. And now it's a 2v1 here in the grand finals. And it looks like Morons Cubed will be taking game 1.
It looks like it, John. That core is exposed there for Vixel, taking a lot of damage from those lasers as they continue to rain down here from Creep and Brandon.
Game 1 in the grand finals in favor of the #1 seed Morons Cubed. They're off to a hot start here in the grand finals, and they move even closer to that $2,000 prize. Now, again, second place goes home with $900, but that's an $1,100 difference, Joey. I definitely want to go home with that $2,000. So we'll have to see what changes Savage Academy will be making here in the second game, going up against the heavily favored #1 seed for a reason, Morons Cubed.
Yeah, I really liked what Morons Cubed ran here. You pull out the lasers, but then you have those 2 tanks full of railguns that just supply big damage output. It takes a little while to get through that first initial layer, but once you do, that core just melts.
Absolutely, and the teams are getting ready for that second game here. Joey, we saw that aggression come out from Morons Cubed once again. They're not changing that play style. That's what got them here, that aggressive play. Yeah, they're changing their weapons, but it's still coming out to their advantage. They're staying true to what they know, and that's essentially a rush comp from what we're seeing from Morons Cubed. It's really up to every other team in this tournament to find a way to stop it, because as of right now, they're untouchable.
Yeah, and there were some nice rotations there. They were able to pinch a couple targets. In doing so, you can lay down so much damage on a full side of the tank. They're able to take out a lot of the front, but also the backside with the rotation. And because they did that, there's just no safe spot to turn to at that point because you're taking damage from every angle.
You see the players for Savage Academy finishing loading up their tanks. All Scorpions probably once again. I doubt that anyone would pull out the Talon as of right now. Going into the grand finals, selecting their weapons going forward. Kind of curious to see what Morons Cube's picks here, because they have been changing those weapons as the match, as the tournament has gone on today. So we'll see if they'll stick with that. I'll be kind of curious to see if they return to the old laser comp and just go full rush again.
I think you stick with the exact same thing. It worked very well, and we've seen them rotate more from lasers to railguns as the event has gone on, still keeping that aggression, as you mentioned earlier, but laying down heavy damage.
And we are heading into game number 2 between Savage Academy and Morons Cubed. And again, we are seeing some changes coming out here. But it's all Scorpions once again. Lasers on Creep, and it's going to be the railgun on Brandon and Derp as well for Morons Cubed. As Morons Cubed are just one game away from that $2,000 prize. Savage Academy has to make those changes. They have to find a way to win game number 2 here in the grand finals. Teams are loading in. Tanks are in the amphitheater. It's game number 2. It's 1-0 in the series in favor of Morons Cubed. Again, one game away from being crowned the grand champions.
One game away, less than 10 minutes away, depending on when those cores get disrupted, John. But overall, a very similar start here. Instead of going around the map, they are going straight through the map here as Morons Cubed looks to go aggressive.
Super aggressive. They don't want to waste any time. They want to get that prize, and they want to head home. They want to throw an after party after this if they're able to close it out here. The damage coming out from Savage Academy here early on. Again, with those lasers putting down the damage early on. But do not count Morons Cubed out. They are very aggressive, and we're seeing it once again. The damage coming out. No cores touched as of yet, but the damage is being sprayed all over Killer Skittles. That front right panel already in orange. Just couple hits away from that core being widely exposed for him on Savage Academy.
Yeah, just like when you leave them in a hot car, John, the plating just melting away on these Skittles, just continuing to fall down. Front right already taking orange damage, as well as the back port. Not exposed as of yet, though. Creep taking heavy damage, though, from Savage.
Creep getting absolutely demolished, down to 3 health left on the core. Early advantage here going to Savage Academy. Creep goes down. They have a chance now. It's 3v2. Killer Skittles down to 20 on his core. This might even up really quick. The advantage might disappear really, really quick here for Savage Academy, and it will. It is now a 2v2. Both remaining players for each team. 100 health left. No! Derpy's dropping like absolute crazy. The damage coming in from Savage Academy. Derpy down to 8. Massive advantage for Savage as Derpy is 3 hit points away. 1-0. It's now 2v1 for Savage Academy, and they might even it up here if they can finish off this 2v1. Rotating around, Brandon is stuck between a rock and a hard place, facing down 2 tanks, just taking hit after hit. The core is now exposed. 86, 44 left on his core, and is slowly melting away and will come to an end, and Savage Academy have forced a game number 3.
John, Chi Master with huge plays there, coming around on that early initial flank, able to lay out so much damage before even being found. That ended up being a huge difference maker to take into the mid game.
It is a grand final for a reason. It is going the distance. We are going to a decisive game 3. The winner of the next game, $2,000 winds up in their back pocket. That is a pretty intense game coming up here in game 3. Both teams taking one game apiece, obviously going into game 3 here. But both teams really kind of adjusting along the way here. I'm kind of curious to see now how Morons Cubed is going to respond as the momentum is on the side of Savage Academy.
Yeah, they played very aggressive through these first 2 games. It worked very well in game 1. In game 2, they allowed for that flank to come in, and that ended up being a huge difference maker.
Yeah, Savage Academy played that incredibly well, going for that early kill, exposing the core on the side of Morons Cubed. That really gave them that advantage and really gave them that boost of confidence that they really needed. This is the first map Morons Cubed have dropped today in this tournament. So that is a very, very big win already for them, being the only team to do that. Now they just need to do it one more time, and then the grand prize is theirs.
Yeah, huge confidence booster there, and that's exactly what you need going into the final match of a best-of-3, taking down that #1 seed, finally giving them their first loss of the tournament, potentially a match loss if they can pull one more map.
It all comes down to game 3. Winner wins $2,000 and the title of Grand Champion of the first ever Core Disruption Tournament. here at the World Premier Tournament at the University of Maryland. We are heading into Game 3, and Joey, it was such a close matchup. We're not seeing any changes whatsoever here. We're seeing Moron Cubed come out with the same kind of setup. We're seeing Savage Academy come out with the same kind of setup as well. Joey, this is going to come down to just accuracy, positioning, and being able to close out those kills quick.
Yeah, I mean, overall, the weapons were fine for both sides. They both laid down the damage they were supposed to. The difference maker being the movement, though. Chi Master able to come around from that side, as we mentioned earlier. Morons Cube doesn't have to look for those flanks. If those flanks come through, especially bringing that Plasma Bolter, it can lay down some heavy damage from the backside.
It has come down to Game 3. We have gone the distance in the World Premier Tournament of Core Disruption. We are less than 10 minutes away from finding out who will be taking home the $2,000 prize and crowned as Grand Champion. And Morons Cubed, it got them here. They're going to keep on doing it. The aggression coming out, cutting right through the middle of the map. Savage Academy knows what's coming. They are playing a little passive, staying behind that large structure, keeping separate. They know where each other are. They're now jockeying for position towards the middle. And Derpy sees them. The damage starting to come out. Derpy taking some damage on the front right side of the tank along with Creep. Chi Master taking damage all the way around his vehicle as well. A little bumping going on as well as they're trying to gain positioning. Derpy and Creep looking to take down Chi real quick, but Derpy's already down to 10. His core is exposed. Savage Academy has an advantage. Derpy falls down early. 1 minute in, Derpy is down. It's 3v2 for Savage Academy.
Yeah, big stuff coming out there. And on the return side, Chi Master now with the core exposed, taking some damage from that front right.
Morons Cube trying desperately to even this one up. Now under 25 health left for Chi Master. He is down as well. It's back to a 2v2. Health and plate-wise, favoring Savage Academy. It's just now that the other two players are starting to take damage on those plates.
And it looks like they're trying to go for Creep, though Killer Skittles did peel off and is now going to lay damage into the back of Brandon.
And Creep bumps into an obstacle. That's going to be a challenger. He's going to have to try to back up, and he will. Brandon coming over to help his teammate out as well. Killer Skittles is there, laying down the damage. Creep taking a lot of damage all over the place. Vixnell as well, taking damage under 30 on the core as well. It is going to be a barn burner to the finish. 51 health for Creep. Vixnell's going to drop down. It's now 2v1. It is all down to Killer Skittles. Has to be able to pull this off. His target has to be Creep to even it at a 1v1, and that's what he's looking for. He can't focus on Brandon. He needs to use that advantage. Creep dropping down to 22, down to 10. He's almost done it. It might be a 1v1. He needs to find that positioning to get Creep. Creep drops down. It's a 1v1. Both players, 100%. No, Skittle drops down to 50% in the core. It's going to be a barn burner. Can Brandon finish it off? 20% left for Killer Skittles. Trying to find a way, and he will fall down. Brandon secures it for Morons Cubed.
Brandon getting the job done in the end, John. When they started chasing there, they allowed Brandon to get so much damage done on that backside, just laying away with that railgun. We've seen how potent it can be, and this ended up being the huge difference maker here, just going around, allowing Brandon to get almost 4 to 5 shots off uncontested. Huge, huge damage.
Absolutely, all came down to positioning. There were a couple bumps there in that match that may have gone differently if maybe there was a little bit better communication there. But again, it's very difficult playing a VR game where your head literally has to be on a swivel the entire time to figure out not only where your teammates are, but where the other team is as well. And that is just one of the many different things you have to pay attention on playing this game. And Morons Cubed, I mean, they came into this tournament as the heavy favorites. They showed why they were the heavy favorites going all the way to the grand finals. Yes, it wasn't a clean tournament. They did end up dropping one map. You know, that's something Savage Academy can definitely hold their heads high on, you know, being the only team to do that. But at the end of the day, it is Morons Cubed taking home the first ever championship for Core Disruption and $2,000 with them.
Yeah, and also shout out to Savage Academy for the resiliency as well, going down pretty hard there in Game 1 and then bouncing back in Game 2, able to take advantage, change their strategy up, and take the first game off of Morons Cubed all tournament long. Then in the end, a 1v1, it doesn't go their way, but John, they played a heck of a game as the second place team as well.
And good sportsmanship coming out from both teams here. Shaking hands at the end of that hard-fought match. It went the distance. It went to Game 3. Now they're just quickly chatting here real quick before Morons Cubed will be awarded a very large, oversized check equaling $2,000. Joey, that is a pretty little prize pool right there. Morons Cubed right there, $2,000. That check going home with Morons Cubed.
Absolutely, a huge victory there, not only coming out in the global release here, or the global show-off, really, of this game, Core Disruption, but also going home with the prize pool in the inaugural esports event. What a great thing to hold.
And Savage Academy going home with $900 as well. That's $900 more than they had when they walked in here, so you can't be too upset with that. Money all around as we take a look at our first place team, Savage Academy. Pardon me. Ooh, that was my apologies there. That is Morons Cubed, your grand champions. In second place, Savage Academy. And in third place is Thonk, all going home with money in the bank today. But Morons Cubed, your grand champions, $2,000 in their back pocket. All right, with that, thank you everyone for tuning in for today's stream. Hope you enjoyed the world premiere here of Core Disruption. This game, again, still in development, but you got a little bit of a taste of how great this game is and how great it will become once more maps and tanks are even released here. We got talked to several developers here today as well. We got a preview of what's coming up, so definitely keep an eye on Core Disruption going forward as this game does go live soon.
Absolutely. More tanks, more maps, more weapons. It is all coming. And that potential battle pass being teased as well, John. Lots of great stuff coming for this game. So excited to continue to watch the development.
Again, a big congratulations to all of our competitors here today, and a big congratulations to Morons Cube taking home the grand prize. Thank you so much for watching, and we will catch you next time.